As developers, we don't like writing code again and again. generate-react-cli is a helpful utility that we can use. It's based on templates, so we don't need to write our code again and again. If you're coming from other frameworks, such as Angular, you probably love the Angular CLI and the features that it can generate templates for your project. You can generate your project template using the generate-react-cli project in a similar way in React. To install, we will be using the npx test script. So, for example, if we want to create a component named header, we would, at the root of the project, type in npx for the test script, and then the project generate react -cli, and then component to indicate we're creating a component, and then type in the name of the component, which would be, let's say, header. Now what's going to happen is the first time we're running the script, it will install and create the generate-react-cli.json file with the options you choose on the first time you're using the tools, but we can change those manually later. So here it's asking us the default setting. First it asks, does this project use TypeScript? And yes, we installed TypeScript and we're using TypeScript, so we're going to say yes. Then it asks us, are we using a CSS module? And we're going to answer no. And then we can choose the one we're using is what we install, which is a SAS. And then it's asking, are we going to do testing? And if you recall, we installed Enzyme, so we can choose that. And then it's asked us to set the default path directory where the component will be generated in. And if you recall, we did create the project in source component. And then it's asked us, would you like to create a corresponding style sheet file with each component you generate? And we're going to say yes. So it's going to create a style sheet. And it asks us if we want to create a test with each one of them, and we're going to say no, we don't need tests right now. And story, we don't need to create a story with each one of them. And then it's asked us, would you like to create a lazy file? And we're not going to create a lazy file at this point. And that's all that it is. Now it tells us that it created a component inside of our source component folder. It calls the component header with two files, header.typescript and header.sas. Now if you open up your IDE, you can see we have a new file that was created for us, generate-react-cli.json, and inside it includes all the settings we chose when we first ran the generate-react-cli command, and those were the settings we set. Then if you also look inside of our source component folder, now we have a new component called header, and it includes two files, a TypeScript file called header.tsx and a SAS file for our style. So those were generated automatically for us. Now if you want to change the setting of the default one, you can change that, and that will generate different one. And also we can actually create and set our template file here. So you can see what I've done in the project. So if you go to GitHub, and inside of React tutorial, you can look for the starter project, and then you can see the default setting that I set for generate react CLI JSON file. And if you can see, I'm setting up custom templates inside the folder called templates, and inside I'm already setting a template for component, for style, and for test. So if you go back in the folder and you look at the template component, you can see my file, and you can copy and use the same one from here. The way you do it is you click on raw, and that gives you the raw file. And then what you need to do is you need to tie the same one. So you need to create a folder named template component and then component.js file. So inside of the project, just create a folder and we'll call it the same way. So call it do make directory, and we're going to call it template, and component, and we're going to create the file. So templates, we're going to create a directory components, to follow the structure, and inside we're going to create a file called component.js. So I can use Vim and type in, create the file. So Vim template components, we created the folder, and then component.js, and then I can copy the content of this file, the template, in here. So I paste it, and then I do escape colon WQ to save it. You can also do it with the folder structure, however you like. It really doesn't matter. And then what I need to do it for the other files as well. So do it for the other files as well. So if you look at the components, we have there the file for the component, for the style, and for test. And then when you're done, the only thing you need to do is also you need to make changes to the generate-react-cli.json file. So click that and click raw to get the raw code, and that, if you can see here, it will tie it to the same folder structure I have in my project. So I can go back into the IDE, click on the generate-react-cli, and paste the code from GitHub and save it, and that will use our template that I created